How are
Hey,
you?
hi.
So, Amy and I were talking earlier, and there's a what's the guy's name on Harry Potter? Hagsworth or something like that. The big guy.
Hagrid.
All right. So, like, I got a shower today, right? I know I'm bragging, but look, what do he and I have in common?
I
It's the
love
frizz
it.
hair, right? Who did
You
it
look
better,
great.
me or Hagsworth with whatever his name
You
is,
did it better.
right? Um,
You
it's
did it
crazy.
better.
It is crazy, you know. Um, But I have a pain doc appointment tomorrow, so I needed to get that shower come hell or high water, right? So I know you've had a rough day.
That's right.
You
You
got
got
my
rock star
prayers.
hair.
Yeah, rock star here. Yeah, gonna cut it all off and shave it. Is what I'm gonna do with it. Um, it's good to see you. I know you've had a shit day, but
Thank
we'll
you.
try to make it better. You know, we'll try to make it
It's
better.
been a day.
So it's been a day. So um, we have two guests tonight, right?
Hey, everyone.
For our topic tonight, our topic tonight, in case you didn't know, is the Pain Olympics, and this is like ableism part two, is kind of what this is, because we wanted to give this topic its
Yeah.
the attention it deserved, and we wouldn't be able to if we had done it last week. And we have somebody joining us tonight, and I just sent her an invite, so we'll see if she'll join us. It looks like she's willing. Hey, Miss Robin, how are you?
Hey, I am good. Give me just a second here. I'll get my camera on. I'm
Okay.
in my truck, but it's working.
You're good.
Hey,
There we go. Hi.
Here she is.
hey,
You
Scissortail,
look beautiful.
aka I
Thank
know.
you. It's good to see you.
She looks bright-eyed and
Thank
everything
you.
tonight. Can I have
Well,
some of
things
your
are finally
energy?
going my way, so I'm happy. I'm gonna share the love tonight.
Please, please do.
Love
Please
it.
do.
So I may
Um,
actually get moved in my house.
there
Can't
you
argue with
go.
that.
I think we're getting a step closer moving too. I got the invoice for the last amount of work that needed to be done. That was emailed to me today, which means it should be done. So I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll
Good.
see. So,
Good.
um, ignore the hair tonight, y'all. It's driving me crazy. Seriously, that may be the highlight of the life. Going to get my shavers and shaving it tonight. I don't know. I'm
No.
tired of dealing with it.
No.
So,
You better
anyway,
not.
We need to get you a pencil and a man bun. I need to do that video.
you told
There
me you
you
were going to.
go. You
Pencil
should
and a
want a
man
man
bun.
bun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how feel about that. I'm gonna have to turn my man card in if I start using a man bun, but we'll see. We'll see. Before we get too far into this madness, let's talk about the basic general rules that we talk about every week, right? Um, keep tapping in my face because we need 15,500 to hit FYP, and as I mentioned earlier, we kind of need that because I have a feeling we've been restricted the last 3 weeks for some reason. So the
Oh
sooner we
wow.
get out and let people know we're live, the better we are. No dry tagging, meaning don't tag somebody without saying why you're tagging them in it. Try not to type a long series of numbers because TikTok will take that as a credit card number going in, and then they'll shut us down. That's really the hard rules. Gifts are appreciated. Gifts will go to the animal shelter. I owe my subscribers a whole lot because I've been slacking there because I've been doing everything I can with Valerie and myself to stay toes up, right? And it's getting there. I'm trying to get there. I promise.
Very good.
My personal rules: no politics, please. 10,000 channels on TikTok to talk politics. No drama llamas, except for the gift llama, which is really cool. One of my favorites, I have to admit it. All the gifts, funds from the gifts that are given to me go to the animal shelter. We have about $98 saved up so we can go buy treats. So we're going to be doing that very soon. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate that.
Nice.
You're going to see me dipping and waving like this because TikTok does not like to see me drink my Gatorade or my coffee. And I may be imbibing in some nicotine as well, and that will definitely get us in trouble. Thank you, Heather, for that. So, did I leave anything? I said share. I said smack my face. Oh, the little heart button. Yeah, if you click on that, I think it's a penny, but that gives us 45 points towards getting out on the FYP. And then if you comment right after you do that, it gives us more points. I'm sure Dixie will have recommendations after the live to let me know where I failed and I screwed up.
You did good.
I
You're
think that's
doing
about
good.
it.
Good job.
I think
You got
that's
a good
about
job
it.
from Dixie. There you go. You did good.
So, Robin, Scissortail, can you
Yes.
please introduce yourself to the, I don't think there's anybody in the community that doesn't know you, but if you would, for the people who may be new, can you give us a
Okay,
quick bio of
absolutely.
you?
You bet. Hi, my name is Robin. I'm go by Scissortail Ranch. I am a 25-year chronic pain patient. I have been a patient advocate. I figured it out the other day. I've been a patient advocate for 40 years because I advocated for my parents when I was a teenager. I didn't really get good at it until about the last 15 years when I was advocating for my husband. Um, I've been on TikTok for 2.5 years, I guess, and that's me in a nutshell. I'm also a chronic pain patient. I think I said that, and we're going to talk pain Olympics tonight because it's something I've dealt with a lot too, and I'm really excited for this conversation. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's more prevalent than what a lot of people see. And I think
Right.
I'm going to speak about myself. It happens more often. We do it more often. I do it more often than what I really think I want to admit, because sometimes it's subconscious and it's not intentional. It just happens, right? And that's really one of the reasons we wanted to bring it up tonight. But it was brought up last week on ableism, and we wanted to give it its own time, its own show, its own live, so we could really get some more light specifically on this aspect of it. Okay, I said in one of my videos that I live and die by definitions, right? As part of my ADHD, Q, whatever, neurodivergent, whatever my therapist says I have that's undiagnosed. If I don't have a definition of something, I don't know what I'm dealing with. So they're important to me. So the kind of working definition of Pain Olympics is something like this. When people compare the suffering to see who has it worse, often in a way that feels competitive or dismissive instead of supportive. It's like a game that nobody wins. The focus shifts from understanding and empathy and helping to proving whose pain is the biggest and or worst. Is that something we can all agree on?
I like that.
And
Very good.
Robin, you and Shelly both pointed out to me, because I sent you guys my definition I was working on, and it said originally when chronic pain patients do X, Y, Z, do all this stuff. And you guys wisely pointed out to me that it's not just chronic pain patients, it's normals, right? Normies.
Normies. Yep.
That do it as well. And we'll get into normies, and then we'll get in. But I think we'll start tonight with people that are in our own community, because a lot of what I read, man, social media is a big instigator of this. It's given us a chance to develop an invisible community, which is beautiful, right? There's a ton of support out here. There's a ton of wisdom out here. We can get in touch with people like Robin, who are advocates, who can offer suggestions. Dr. Mike, snarky pharmacist Lauren, right? A lot of really good information, but at the same time, bad things enter into the scene. Ableists show up, and then this chronic pain Olympics shows up. And before we get much further, I'm going to use the phrase chronic pain a lot, but I truly feel chronic illness can be the same with the chronic illness, and the same with mental health as well. It's just not using those terms aren't given the light that they deserve in it, which is a shame, because they're just in the mix with this as pain is, right? And that's why I wanted to bring it to an invisible community, because we're a community made up of pain, illness, and mental health, right? That's my vision of it.
Yeah.
So, what are some examples of the Pain Olympics? You think that's bad? I haven't slept for more than 2 hours in years because of my pain. I've heard that. Recently, somebody who was a participant in the Pain Olympics. I've been a chronic pain patient for 10 years. And they said it not in an empathetic or, hey, listen, I've been in your shoes. They said it in an attempt to make their opinion carry more weight than someone else's,
Right.
which is terrible. Terrible. But I'm not going to go down that road. I've had 12 surgeries. You've only had one. So I'm, you know, um,
Yeah.
it kind of, all of these. Oh, you have migraines? Try dealing with CRPS and endometritis. You can't pronounce it all at once, right? Where people stack all of their things and try to make it like a pain hierarchy.
Right.
The more diagnoses I have,
right. You have one diagnosis. I have 5. And it's like, okay,
There you go.
Great. Like, I'm sorry.
I've actually done that to a
up.
troll. I have. I've
Have
done
you
that
really?
to a troll. They said, well, I've got this, this, and this. And my comment back was really simple. Well, I have 14. I win. And I mean, I literally participated in the Pain Olympics, but this person wasn't going to be educated. But,
right.
you know, honestly, I don't want to drag us off track too far, but this is a lot of the reason why I don't talk a lot about my condition unless it can validate somebody else or make a point to educate, because that tends to happen, you know, and I don't want people to feel they hear my situation and they're like, oh wow, and here I am complaining. No, complain. If you're miserable and you're having trouble, you need to vent. Your feelings, your pain is pain. It's subjective. I don't care if it's 14 something, it's pain.
Yeah,
it is.
No,
it's a valid point.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of times that I'll share one of my diagnoses, but I don't share all of them because I'm not. The thing is pain, and I may have more diagnoses than you, and I may have started at a younger age or had it longer or whatever the case may be, but that doesn't discount your pain. Like we all have pain, and so a lot of the times, like I think I've shared 2 of my diagnoses on here, and if I can help somebody out and they say I have this and I can talk to them about it, I'm happy to share. But I do that, like I think I do keep it internal, like out of fear, because I don't want to come across like I have all these things wrong with me and so I'm not complaining, so you shouldn't be complaining. You know what I mean? So I find myself doing that as well. Like because pain, we all have pain, and so it's like I never want to discount somebody else's type of thing. If that makes sense. I don't know.
It does, and I think it depends on where you are in your mindset at that day. Like if you're having a bad day and you're hurting and and let's face it, we all have those where we're just like, man, enough, and if somebody comes at me on that day, I may not be gracious. I'll try, but I may not be, but if there's a day where I'm doing well, then I'm okay. I can hold back, maybe not everything's hitting me at once, but it's a very tricky thing to navigate because our emotions, they can control us sometimes if we let them. And we're already this close to giving in to those emotions and just acting out and I say that because of experience. I'm talking about me. Because we get worn down by that pain, right? So the pain wears down it's when I say people are on my last nerve, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's when it's hard to put the other person first. But I try to do that. It's not always easy, but I do try to do that.
Yeah, y'all, if you ever see any of Robin's videos, posts that she does, if she's, I'm going to steal the term, snarky towards somebody, or she's snarky towards you, we may need to check ourselves.
My last nerve.
Hey, listen, we're not perfect.
Because that's one thing I love about Scissor Tail. She's always so positive about everything that's going on, even when the stuff is just terrible. It's your ability to do that is incredible. I'm jealous.
I'm blessed. I can't take credit for it. I'm blessed. I look at all the things where I've been brought through, and I'm blessed and humbled by it.
So why do the experts say folks in the community participate in the Pain Olympics? There's a lot of reasons. I mean, I read all the stuff, and actual studies on this, because it's, even though it's more of a anecdotal, I can't pronounce that word, hopefully you understand what I mean, type research, because there's not like hard facts. There are studies and people have written papers on this stuff, and the list could be like 1,000 different reasons. But I picked I cut it down and I picked 9, right? Seeking validation for their pain. By comparing pain to others, they hope to prove their struggle is bad enough to deserve attention and or care.
Hmm.
Makes sense,
And I don't think
right?
that's a bad thing. I don't. I think I think we all go through that grieving process, when we're
Definitely.
dealing with coming to terms with our illness and where we are. And I think that's a normal response because a lot of us aren't getting it from our family. We're not getting it from our doctors. We're not getting it from the people around us. And sometimes social media and coming here is the only place we can find to get it. And we don't always know exactly how to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need help." I mean, how many people actually say that instead of, "I'm having a bad day. This is happening and this is happening and this is happening." I don't think either one of those is wrong. It's
Right.
just a different approach to vent and get that
And
out so they can get support.
very
Mhm.
shortly, Leslie's going to join us up here, and Leslie's going to give us kind of like a mental health side
Good,
into this too. So it's one thing I love
good,
about
good,
this
good.
crazy app is we get to talk to doctors and pharmacists, hospital pharmacists, and people who have the, I don't want to say inside knowledge, but that point of view on these type of things. Another reason that somebody might be wanting to participate in the Pain Olympics is feeling dismissed or misunderstood. Try to reclaim their narrative and feel seen, even if it comes at the cost of dismissing others. And I want to just throw something in. If definitions, right? I've said 10,000 times that the purpose behind Invisible is so people can be seen, heard, loved, right? And it's amazing. I was sharing this with Amy the other day in some messages about how some of the stuff that non-professionals, because right, my only license is to drive a vehicle, how we can do this type of stuff to give people opportunities to feel seen, heard, loved, and cared about, right? And I understand that, they want people to see them. They want to be
We all
seen,
want
right?
that. It's just like a basic
Absolutely.
human feeling. We all want to feel seen and heard by other people, and especially
Right.
loved by other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, you know, I think that's just a basic human thing we all want.
Yeah. We come out of the
Sarah,
womb needing affirmation. We
Yeah.
do.
hang on,
When
I
you think
missed
about it.
something here that's going on in the comments. Sarah, did I say something to make you mad or something?
No, I think
Because
they were
that would,
talking about how just like the people can unintentionally do the Pain Olympics without really meaning to.
Mhm. Oh, and
yeah,
we're
And I
not
think that's
we're not
that's
talking
kind of
about
what we're
sharing our
yeah.
sorrows and our pain. That's
no, no,
perfectly
no.
Yeah.
okay. Uh-uh.
Yeah, Sarah,
That's not what
that's
we're
totally
saying.
fine. And it's the
Yeah.
Mhm.
intent. It's the
Right.
Yes.
intent
And that's
really
kind
is
of
behind
that's what
it.
we're wanting to kind of talk about is the
Right.
intent behind it. I think,
Yeah,
the sharing our stories is, the most important thing we can do is share our stories. But I
Right.
think the Pain Olympics is when people take it to a level of kind of demeaning and saying it, well, I'm
mhm,
better, like you can't complain about this because I got through this, or
Right.
your problem is less of a problem than mine. That's kind of where we're trying
Right.
to
that's what we're trying to.
differentiate
It's like the
the Pain
definition.
Olympics versus just sharing and talking about your issues, because
Yeah,
talking about your issues, like I said, is the most important thing we can do on here is share our stories and get information from other people. But it's when
yeah,
people take the turn and
yeah.
have a different connotation behind it, I think,
That's why.
is what we're really kind of focusing on.
That's
So
why
that's
in
what,
in the definition I put in ways that feel competitive and or dismissive or
yeah.
dismissing somebody else's situation by showing that
Right.
ours is worse. And
And
Sarah, you've
Sarah,
never
you
done
are
that.
by no
You
means,
are
you have
nowhere
never
near
been
that.
dismissive to
Never.
And
myself,
Mm-mm.
or I'm sure anybody
but
else. So never,
that's,
don't feel that way.
please don't feel that way, because that's
Yeah.
not you.
I mean, if anybody comes onto, I get messages every day from people in the community that just need to talk, and I try my best just to listen, validate, and encourage them, because when they're coming to me, when they're coming to any of us, when they're coming to the platform, they need to talk. They need somebody to hear them. They don't need us to give them their whole story, our whole story, you know. But if you need to talk, there's so many people here that are so willing to listen and to encourage you, because that's why I do what I do. I don't want anybody to go
Yeah.
through this alone, you
No,
know.
no.
Mhm.
Another one, that reason that people do these Olympics, they described it as needing to feel heard in a competitive world. And this came up, I remember this specifically last week when we were talking about ableism, where there's limited resources. So, like, limited, unfortunately, like with Amy right now, doctors, right? So they try to explain, they explain where they're at in an attempt to say, since I'm here, I'm the one that deserves access to this service, right? And I'm not trying to use you as a bad example, Amy, because you
No,
do
it's
deserve this
just,
service,
it's
you know.
funny because of a message I had gotten about that video I posted today. It just made me, yeah. I got a lovely message saying, "You surely can't find a doctor in the whole state of Tennessee." And
I
I
believe
said,
that.
"No,
Yeah,
actually, I
no,
can't, because I unfortunately cannot drive 4 hours away to both ends of the state. And all of the doctors within a 3 hour radius of me, I have been on either on a wait list or they don't take new patients. So no, actually, I cannot find anybody in the whole state of Tennessee. But thank you for your message. I appreciate that.
because it does happen. Look at Valerie. Valerie got referred to a muscular neurologist, and the
Yeah.
doctor told her office staff, get her in ASAP. And so they called Valerie and said, hey, she said to get you in ASAP, so let's do this. And Valerie's all excited, and they go, okay, well, right now our next appointment is this following January.
Yeah.
You have to wait a
Oh
year
my stars.
because there's only
January.
two muscular neurologists in all of DFW, right? And
Yeah.
one doesn't,
Wow.
last I heard, doesn't take her insurance. So we're trying to come up with different ways to, anyway. But so, yeah, I mean, it's valid, and we can find pain doctors. Hell, Dr. Israel Pena, who was the shittiest doctor I've ever had, he put medical devices in people here in Granbury on a Friday and quit and closed his office on Monday. That's not a doctor anybody wants to go see, right? So they're there. It's just quality of care and people that know
I was
their
this
stuff,
close to
right?
seeing him. I was this
Were you
close to
really?
being one of his patients. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God, you dodged that bullet.
I did.
Yeah.
Don't get me down that one. One of my videos ranting about him hit 54,000 views. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
Another one that they say reason people do this stuff is fear of being seen as weak. They want to try to prove their pain's legitimate by comparing it to others to say, see, I'm not weak, I'm real, and I'm worse off than a lot of other people. Does anybody else see a situation of people just crying out, and desperately needing love and attention and care? That's why we do this type of stuff. That's why Robin does her type of stuff. And probably they didn't word it this way. This is the last one I'm going to touch on. They're assholes. That's it. They're
Yep.
assholes. And there's nothing you can do. No
Some
education,
people are.
no love, no care, no empathy, no nothing is going to stop them from doing what they are. And that's, yeah. So, I mean, they're out there. It's like doctors who are buzzsaws, right? They're definitely out there. Let me see if she was here. I was going to get Leslie up here, but now she's gone from my screen. Pardon me?
I said there's no reasoning with them either.
Yeah.
No.
There's some people that you just can't. You have to just move on.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get Leslie up here to get the mental health take on all of
Yay.
those garbages. Hey, ma'am, how are you doing tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Hi, Leslie.
Good.
Hello.
So, Leslie, do you
So
want to
glad
give a
you're
quick?
here.
a quick bio of you so people know who you are and how you fit into all of this.
Let's see. To start off with, I am a mental health clinician, or what we're referred to now is behavioral health practitioner. Big definition there. I had my first surgery 25 years ago. I was fused at C5-6, and it all started there. A very long healing time. There was a lot of medication. There were other circumstances, and from then on to now, I'm still suffering. I have lower back problems now and CRPS. So I will delve into this mental health with our Pain Olympics. One of the things that I'm hearing here is, how does the mental health affect the Pain Olympics? Well, some of the things that the mental health side that I see as being part of the Pain Olympics is low self-esteem, lack of focus. This is where they're coming and they're saying, well, mine's bigger than you. There's low self-esteem. Mine is so much worse. Well, where's your focus? Is it on your pain? Where's your focus? Let's find something else to focus on. I understand the need to address your pain. However, let's move on. We all have pain. Let's disregard the amount of pain. Let's just agree we both have pain.
Do you
and
see
move
it?
on from there.
Do you see it like I just mentioned? And this is just purely for validation on my part. As it people that are a chunk of the group of people that participate in this, they are just like screaming out, and they don't know how else to do it.
They don't know. There's a lot of depression that we're talking about, and depression increases, your stress, your inflammation, your muscle tension. It all increases pain, which then goes back to the low self-esteem. From there you've got anxiety. You're not being heard. Here's Pain Olympics. You're feeling, powerless. You end up with trauma. Chronic pain and mental health, it's a bi-directional relationship, meaning one goes into the other constantly.
Kind of like that snake, right? They feed on each other and they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, until we can catch it.
Exactly.
We're gonna kind of skip into now people who aren't part of the community, but yet find ways to get into the Olympics as well. And I'm going to go down quite a few of examples, and when we get there, I want to kind of get your take on it as well, because these aren't people; these are able. I don't want to say ableist, able people, right? They're normies, but yet they want to try to show themselves. So, like a first type of example, and this could be like just anybody you run into, not like the doesn't have to be the in-law that I used in the video today. A fitness enthusiast, right? Or a jock, like a football player, I broke my leg and it healed in a few months. Chronic pain patients just need to toughen up, right? And I run into that, and it's like, well, okay, I'm not going to get into the responses, but that's just an example of a normie that could do it. People who've experienced traumatic injuries, like I was in a car wreck, and I did PT and I was on meds for a long time, like 6 months, but now I don't need them, and here we are trying to explain how, well, my nerves are damaged and they're never gonna get better, right? healthcare professionals, and Robin, I think you have an example of this one. I broke
Oh,
my arm
I
once,
do.
and the pain was unbearable. You should be able to manage your migraines with over the counter with Tylenol, right? So,
Mhm.
Robin, do you care to share that one that you had?
I do. It's the one I think I shared with you either yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So this was about 10 years ago. I was trying to get an increase in my medication because it was the dead of winter and I was really suffering. And 3 months in a row, I went in and spoke to the PA asking him, can I see the doctor? We need to talk about increasing my meds. And what he finally said to me is, I have bone on bone arthritis, pain, something to that effect. I just take ibuprofen. No, you don't need it. Okay. You know what I did? I cried.
Wow.
I cried all the way home because there was
Yeah.
no getting through to him. There was no, you can't advocate against that. That is just
No.
flat out ableism and bias. And I went home and I cried and I made my next appointment and I said, I will not see anybody but my doctor. And the next
Yeah.
time I went in, I went and saw my doctor. And what did she do? She put me on Belbuca, which is why I lost my top teeth. But that's a whole nother story. So it's,
Which, yeah.
we all have those things.
Which
But
I want to talk to you about
mhm,
Oh.
that, because I have
mhm,
a lady that I want to share her story here coming up, that she's on that SUB word,
uh-huh.
and it works for her,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
she's extremely grateful that she has it, and
That's
that she
wonderful.
you know and
Mhm,
I want to get both sides on the live, but I wanted to
mhm.
be respectful, and you'll be
Right.
respectful, right? So
Well, and
anyway,
if it
uh,
works, great.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
hey, if it works, fantastic. I think it's fantastic.
because
If
it
I
goes
had
back
been on
to
a different subset, I wouldn't have lost my teeth.
I
So a
think it
different type.
goes back to, we need to
Mhm.
celebrate whatever works for each individual, right?
Absolutely.
So
Respect the differences. Always.
another type of person that's able, that participates in the chronic pain Olympics, would be a friend or a family member that says crazy stuff like, "Well, I had a root canal, the pain was excruciating, but I went back to work the next day. Why can't you do the same with your back pain?" That's See, and we're going to get to the
Such
very end
apples and
here,
oranges.
like positive responses, because at that point, I would show them what I can do with my back pain, right? And of course, I'd be laid up for like 6 weeks afterwards, but they would know, you know,
Right.
what I would. And coming from a family member,
Yeah.
it's harsh, especially from, like, if they're in a caregiver role for us, or there are people that we rely on to get to doctor's appointments or to help us around the
Yeah,
house and stuff like that. It's brutal. Um,
that's a big mixed message.
Yeah.
that is. And then the last one that's
Oh.
really big, that I mentioned it a little bit earlier, social media folks who would say something like, "I blew my knee out skiing, you know, I never took pain meds, anybody can overcome anything with the right mindset." God, how many times has somebody told us that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, it doesn't have to be people in the community. Just like when we discussed ableism, how a lot of people were initially shocked to know that people in their own community are ableist towards others, right? And it makes sense, Pain Olympics having invisible people doing the Pain Olympics, but to see it from the outside in is something that we don't always recognize, right? But we need to start recognizing that. Um,
Mhm.
I think it's important because we are who we are, and our disability, our difference, whatever the difference is, pain, mental health, chronic illness, our difference doesn't define me. It's just part of me, right? So um, we need to keep that in mind and be who we are. Yeah, I'm technically I'm disabled, but that's not me. That's not Keith, right? That's
Right.
Keith who is disabled, right?
My
Right.
identity.
So yeah, it's
Again,
not
you
your
are not
identity.
your
But
diagnosis.
I don't know.
Amen.
No. And I was going to say, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think it's harder when the pain Olympics happens with somebody who also has chronic pain, it's harder for me to deal with that than it is for a family member or a friend who doesn't have any chronic illness or chronic pain. I can kind of tune them out. But when it happens with somebody in our community, that is so much harder for me to deal with, because I'm like, like, why are you saying this? Like, how it feels. And it kind of stings a little more. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. Do you guys feel that same way, or?
Almost like a lack of respect.
It makes me sad, I think. Yeah, it's a lack of respect, because we know better as pain patients. We know what we go through. We know. And I think it just makes me sad, because we can all get up to that higher level of behavior. You know what I mean? And I love to see it when people respect each other and are there for each other. And maybe I'm an eternal optimist. I don't know. But yeah, I get that too, Amy. I feel that too. I do.
Yeah. And, I think for the most part, when what I would describe as the invisible community is not as prevalent, I'm just going to go out. I don't have statistics, so please don't ask me for numbers on this, because we've really made the lives, or the videos that I do, or the videos that you do, Amy, and some of yours, Scissor Tail, some, because you go after some people that deserve it. We've made them safe spots, right? And I think so. In the invisible community, I think there's a little bit less of it, but it's still prevalent out there. I mean, I did a video less than a week ago, and that's when I got the comment, I've been in the pain community for 10 years. So, okay, you want some kind of, what I need to buy you a t-shirt? I mean, what? I mean, what's that mean to me? If you say you've been in the pain community for 10 years and I have dealt with really bad doctors, this is what worked for me, I'm going to listen to you, right? But just throwing it out there, I've been in the community for 10 years. Okay, good for you. Here's a sucker.
Well, what have you done with that 10 years?
Bingo.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's, when people say that, it's like, okay, so you have 10 years of knowing better of what not to do.
Yeah. It took her 10 years to learn that alcoholism wasn't real. Anyway,
thank you.
That was just that one particular person. I know, I gotta be nice. I have to be nice.
I don't have any masks left tonight, Keith. Don't make me come after you.
FedEx,
I'm a little spicy today.
You are. So, Leslie, from the mental health person, right? And this is not, we're not seeking medical advice. We're not seeking advice.
No.
Possibly an insight or some insight or wisdom from an experienced point of view. Are people from the outside doing this to show is it their version of empathy? Hey man, I broke my arm, so I felt pain, or are they honest? Is it more of a true just ableism type thing? It's your mindset. You can change your mind. You can do anything. I don't know.
I honestly believe that in some aspects it is empathy. I think it takes a lot for someone to honestly be mean. I think you really have to think about it to be mean. But in the mental health community, I honestly think that it is nothing but empathy. Now you go outside into the community, that's a different story. You have people who are not, like we talked about, not so empathetic. But us as a mental health community, there's more empathy in the mental health community than there is on the, I want to say, outside. But that's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. I want to believe in my heart that in some of these instances that I just read off, that people want to do good, right?
Yeah.
I did it. There's a poem that came up last week. I forget the name
The
of it.
long one?
Ableism. The really long one, like 6 pages long, right?
I loved it.
Where the lady who wrote it listed all these different types of ableism, and like the spouse that says, "I love how you do dishes," you know,
Right.
and the reply was basically, "How about you?" Or the next one was, "I love you with your what was it? I love you with your disability," or how did they word it? Basically, they were telling the person that they loved them even though they had a
A
disability, and
disability. Yeah, that
the,
was
the,
it.
the feedback
We
was
agreed
that,
it's difference.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
different, because that's the feedback, right? Well, how about you just love me and not worry about the disability, right? So
Right.
my point is, I really want to hope that people do this type of action out of love and care, and that they're
Right.
not the last example of that I wrote down, at just an asshole, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
Sometimes I think you can see it because the people that are doing it, trying to empathize with you, they're not going to get hostile. They're not going to be all bowed up, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I can
Puffed
kind
up
of see it pretty
chest.
quickly. Yeah, I can see it pretty quickly when somebody's just naive about the situation. And I don't know, Keith, I don't know if we're there yet about how we deal with that, but I've
that's
got a way
next.
that I deal with it. That's next. Okay, I'll hold
That's
it.
coming up.
I'll wait.
Yeah. All right.
I'll wait. Okay.
Well, really, that's the next heading. I don't know if you can see it. General tips for chronic pain patients when
Dang.
responding. So, do you want to go ahead and start? I mean, we're right here, so go ahead.
Uh, okay. Well, let's just assume that somebody has come up to me and for example, it happens to me at the horse shows all the time. When I get out of a chair, I'm like an 80-year-old woman
Right.
because the horse shows are hard. They hurt me.
Mhm.
Okay, I love them, but I go. And so I get up and they're like, "What's the matter? What?" And I'm like, "Well, some of them already know, but I'll explain to them." I said, "Well, it's just time for my medication, blah blah blah." And then they'll say, "Well, why do you take that?" And we'll get on that subject, and they'll say, "Well, why just take Tylenol? Why do you need something so strong?" And then I explain to them in a very shortened phrase, "Hey, I had a car accident, 25 years ago, and without this medication, I'm bedbound. I spent 4 years in bed because my pain was so bad. These medications allow me to get up on that horse and ride once a month or once a week or however often my shows are. And I'll be in bed the next couple of days taking it easy or just, having a slower day. But I can have some of the things that I love back because this treats my pain." And
Yes.
that then they see, oh, it's not that she's just wanting the pain to go away. She wants to do something like, take a shower like normal people, right? And do normal things that people take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, I want to walk down the stairs without having to trip and fall, things like that. So
I trip and
that's
fall
one way.
walking upstairs.
I mean,
Me too.
I seriously, I took a header. It's like 4.5, 5 feet to get up into our fifth wheel, and the other night I took a header all the way down,
Oh no.
No.
and
Ouch.
yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Hmm.
I was like, so yeah, I understand.
I've fallen
I want to
up
be
the
able to walk.
stairs more than I've fallen down the stairs.
I'd rather have fallen
Yeah.
up. Trust me.
Yeah, falling
That
up
day.
is really
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, what I like about your example there, Robin, is number one, stay calm but assertive, and that's exactly what
Mm-hmm.
you were there, And another one is educate without blaming, and that's exactly what you
Right.
did there,
Right.
right?
Informational.
Yes.
Because my example I did in the video today, what did they check your head because they messed up because you damaged your head when you broke your arm because you're an ass, right? You're being an ass. That's being assertive probably, but that's not staying calm, and and then
Good try.
a big part of the staying calm, I think, is don't apologize for having a difference. Don't,
right.
please don't apologize. Because it's you, it's part of you. It doesn't define you, but it's part of you. So you don't need to apologize, in my opinion. And again, it's just an opinion. Educate without blaming. Says people engage in the pain Olympics out of ignorance, possibly not malice. That's what I did in that video the other day, right? So don't blame it on malice when it could just be ignorance, right?
I love that video.
So frame the response as an opportunity to teach or explain instead of right? Is another way. This is an important one. Setting boundaries, like an obvious boundary. Obvious boundaries. Am I even going to respond to you? You know. But if you've tried to explain it to somebody, just say, "Hey, look, I've tried to explain this to you, and you don't seem to get it. I'm not going to go into it anymore." And that, I think, maybe, and I'm talking for myself, maybe the best response I can give to a family member, right?
Yeah.
Would be, listen, you know, we've been down this road 10,000 times, and I've tried to explain what's going on with myself, with my body, and either you don't want to understand or you're just not getting it, and I'm not going to waste my energy on it. But be polite. I know y'all are a lot better at being polite than I am. So I have to say, be polite to remind myself.
There's a secret weapon. When you're polite and you take that high road, when you're done and you get that video out and you know you took the high road, you don't have any regrets.
I know.
And people can't say much to you when you take that high road.
No.
Think about that for a second. A lot of the people that I address, if I do it the right way, unless I get a question or they're a really bad troll, I don't ever hear from them again. It's kind of strange, but it's nice having that peace. You know, if it's affecting your peace of mind, just cut it off, because it's not worth it. Because our health is affected by that.
But see, I didn't. You know? Maybe I'm a psychopath because I didn't feel guilty for doing that video like I did.
Oh no, you shouldn't. We are all.
Amy's like, yeah, maybe.
We're all so different. I mean, what is there? Leslie, you might know. There's like a 16 personality genome type or something like that. There's a test that you can take, or it used to be.
Yes.
And there's 16 different. But there's so many more of us, and we all deal with things differently. So that's why I always say, respect the person for who they are, meet them where they are,
in their
journey.
Right.
Because people that are new to chronic pain, people that maybe are even 10 years into chronic pain, y'all, you're still coping. Yeah. It's still hard. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm still having days where I'm like, what am I going to do about this? Well, I've been doing it for 25 years, but I'm still, what am I going to do about this? And you have to give yourself grace. You have to, or you're going to go nuts.
Yes.
You deserve that grace. Every single one of you in here deserves grace. Okay? Remember that.
Yeah.
Another thing.
And I've just found that I've just found with like taking the higher road is it's way more fun to kill them with kindness, you know, and like let them go low. Let them go low and look bad. Let them look like the crazy people, and then you just go high and you look like a nice, calm, normal human being, and just kill them with kindness. Like, I get way more satisfaction out of that than if I were to go low and go exactly what they did. I somehow feel like, you know, I'm like sitting back going, hey, I got you, you know, when I took the higher road, because, you know, I'm like, I'll kill you with kindness any day of the week.
That's a strategy. It's a doable strategy. It works. Yeah. So when I lose my cool with somebody, you know that they really got on that last nerve and they jumped around a lot. But I have been known to do it. I've told Keith this before. If y'all could see my draft folder, you would think I have split personalities. It's bad. I mean, because there are times that I just have to get it out, and then I'm like, okay, I can do this. Educate,
Mhm.
educate, educate.
Yeah.
Right.
It's it's a
Yeah.
it's
Make the
it's a
video and then delete it.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
A
working.
lot.
I am
Yeah.
working on that. I'm waiting 24 hours.
You did
Right?
Hey,
great.
that's good.
You're
That's
doing
good.
Baby
great.
steps. Baby steps.
Hmm.
Another
You did.
suggestion for general tips for invisibles to respond with is seek support. How they describe that is dealing with it can be emotionally draining, um, especially because all of us, like you guys were saying, we have our own differences, right? And they're severe. Look for support groups, therapists, and love once you understand. And again, welcome to the invisible community. And I'm going to toot the horn of the Invisible No More. This is what this is all about, right? And that's also why I wanted to shine light on the Pain Olympics in Invisible, is to let people know that it's there and to be ready for it in case it comes up. And not to take it personal when somebody tries to say, well, my pain's worse than you. I guess if I could get anything across tonight out of all of this that we've said, is your pain is valid.
Amen.
Your pain is valid. And I
Mhm.
don't care if Betty Lou says she's worse than you, or if Bobby says that he can't do X and you doesn't matter. Your pain is valid. And I remind myself, I don't even have to remind myself. I get messages from people who are like on 120 MME a day, and are having their meds cut. And here I am at about 55 MME a day. I can't imagine what they're going through, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody comes to me and they're on 10 MME a day, their pain is real.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just as real as somebody on 120 or mine at 50, right? 55. And don't let anybody try to take that away from you. Don't let anybody take away your story or your lived experience by saying, well, I have 10 years experience and I've had chronic pain for, okay. So you've only had it
We all
for
have
a year,
we,
right?
Yeah. We all have an individual thumbprint. And
Right.
so we each
Exactly.
have an individual treatment plan. We each have an individual, care plan that we move forward on. And so
Right.
from there is where we educate.
Yes.
That's it.
And what's interesting about what Keith was saying is at his 55 MME a day, he may be hurting just as much as somebody that's on 30 MME a day or 120 MME a day. We can't really
Exactly.
compare how that
No.
feels because it's so subjective,
It's yes.
And I mean, it's like I tell my pain doc, get me to a 5. Get me to a 5. Right?
Oh, I wish.
And I could have a life, right? Because like people like Leslie or our friend of ours, Jennifer, right? She's getting abused by the medical system where she is, and can't imagine the pain she's in. But Leslie, you stole my line. We're all individuals. We all are unique. So please don't let somebody try to take away your story, and just try to be polite, right? When you if you decide to push back, again, it's boundaries, right? Is it that uncle that you've tried to explain it to 10,000 times and you just can't take it
Right.
anymore? Is it somebody that you'll never see again? I mean, that's how I have to start to process this stuff. And I admit in the past, I haven't done a really good job of processing any of it. I've just, and I'm really, as I speak to more people in the community, and Amy and even Ricky and Jennifer, all these people are calming me down, right? And to make me think before I react, is this person worth the energy I'm about to put out?
Right.
Nah,
Right.
So it's I think that's I think all of us need to set our own, again, individual boundaries on what we find acceptable and what we feel we need to push back again.
Yeah.
Robin, the people that you've advocated for before we lose you, because I can still see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's getting dark. I've got a light in here. But
It is.
there.
The people that you advocate for if you've noticed they're doing this, how do you try to suggest politely? Well, I don't say politely because you are polite. How do you suggest to them that it's not an exercise worth pursuing? I guess is the question I'm asking.
Well, like if they're well, I like you said, it's about education, but I always affirm what my clients are feeling. If they're in pain, I'll make sure that I understand and I tell them, I know this is hard. I know this hurts. I know it's rough. I know you have the bad days. And a lot of times there's little things that they didn't bring up that I know are affecting them because I've been there, and I can bring that up and that validates them and how they feel. And when I get to that point and we're communicating pretty good back and forth, then I can tell them about how pain is so subjective and what one person feels is going to be different from what another person feels. And it's a very gentle thing. And there have been times when I've talked with people where I can't really address it at that moment because they're not in the right headspace. They're not really trying to be disrespectful. It's just and they're not really, they're venting at this point, but maybe they're looking at, well, everybody else seems to be doing so well, why am I not? They need somebody to say, hey, keep going, keep moving forward, keep advocating for yourself, let us help whenever we can, and things can get better. It's a long journey, and it's a different journey for everybody. I think that's the important thing, is that people understand it's a different journey for every single person, and our pain is all different, our conditions are all different. Some of us are really, really sick, some of us are sort of sick, some of us are what is that term, dynamically disabled. I consider myself dynamically disabled because I can go get on a horse, but I'll be out the next day, and that's dynamic disability, but it's still valid. It's still pain, and we all need to love each other for where we are in that journey and encourage each other to move forward and get the best care that they can and find the things that make it to where they're okay in their new skin, if that makes sense.
It does. And
it does make sense.
And the reason I was asking is to try to see how you do it and then mimic, right? Is really why I was asking,
Okay, well, I do a lot of, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. You got to let them be them first and make sure that they're in the right spot. Like a lot of what we run up against, right?
Right.
And because there's some days that I can be reached, and you can ask anybody. There's some days that you cannot reach me, and it's I'm speaking for me. I don't know about anybody else in the group, but that's me. And so, is there anything that I've missed, Amy or Scissortail or Leslie? Anything that you think we've missed tonight that we need to cover, or you want to cover that I've missed? Now's your shot. Because if not, we're going to go to victories.
The most important thing I want to impart, I guess, is that you are not powerless.
Right.
All right? You're not powerless. Take a breath. Try it again. Just don't feel powerless.
Yes.
I agree with that.
The one thing inevitable is change. That's the one thing you can count on in this world is things will change.
Yes.
They will.
Yeah, they will.
That's so true. I love that.
So, Miss Amy, anything from you that we missed?
No, I think you guys covered it so well. I think, you guys both gave really good examples of how to deal with it and kind of what it looks like. And so for me, that's really helpful because Lord knows, I feel like any family gathering, I hear something, and I've come to the point that I've just set a boundary and just I've ignored it. But you guys have given me some good pointers on how to maybe approach it differently. And so that was very helpful. You guys are always a wealth of knowledge, so I loved it.
Yeah.
Always remember your I statements.
Yes.
Like
You have
I'm
to say
right, you're wrong.
eyes.
Your I statements.
I guess that's not what you meant.
No.
Okay.
No.
Hang on a second. TikTok making me do something.
That's so true.
Um,
Yes.
okay. No, what I love about this app, which is crazy app, is the fact that we have an very experienced patient advocate, and then we have somebody with the mental health community. We had a hospitalist pharmacist who works with doctors to help get people the right meds, who's a chronic pain patient. We've had doctors on here who are chronic pain patients, and we get and with Leslie, we get the mental health aspect of this as well. So we have it's like a big in it's honest information. And what I love about it is anybody in the comments can ask Robin a question. Just go to her page and send her a message, or same with Leslie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll get solid information from people who care, who aren't going to pull the pain Olympics on you, who aren't going to make you feel bad because you hurt or because you need to have medicine to get through your day. And that can be a very difficult resource to find anywhere, much less on a crazy app that has really cool videos of raccoons and cute puppies, right?
Right.
So I think it's really good. So, you guys want to do victories? I need victories. Can we do victories tonight? Can we do victories?
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right.
Do it.
If you're new here, this is what it's called. It's called victories, right? It's called something that you did that was pretty cool, or something in your life that's been pretty cool, because a lot of us don't have victories very often. And so anything from you found a pair of lost car keys, to you got laundry done, you took a shower, to you found your unicorn doctor, to you name it, anywhere in between. If you've had something good happen in the last week since last Tuesday, type it in the comments. Me, I got a shower today, and I've put it off all freaking week, and it's having to go see my pain doc tomorrow. The reason I finally forced myself in there, that happened today. We got what I think is the final construction move, so we can move this trailer and get to our own dirt. That's a victory. It's an expensive victory.
Yeah.
Leslie, I got to participate in the live. Finally, right? We've only been talking about this for like 6 months. Advocates said, my coronary CTA came back with no blockage. Hallelujah!
Woo!
That is awesome. And we need to
Good.
celebrate Sister Tail getting hers. That's awesome too.
2 weeks.
That's
We're
awesome.
moving in 2 weeks.
Look at this. Queen Crazy said, I got approved for long-term disability. Heck yeah!
Yes.
That's
a big
awesome.
deal.
That is awesome.
I know that is process. So good job.
So, Victory, I
That's a
went
load off
got
your
a
mind.
year-long
That's
disability
awesome.
fitness pass to my local rec center. That is great,
Good.
Tamara. I love that. That is so cool. See, this is the stuff that we need, because a lot of us don't get victories. And I get to celebrate really cool things like that, because
I love this celebrate.
it can be so difficult to have anything when you go through these things. Valerie said we survived the storm on Saturday. Oh, we had so much hail out here. It was like a half inch of hail covering the entire ground. Everything. It was like snow. That's how much hail we had out here. It was crazy. Plus, this thing was rocking. Valerie and the dog say it was terrible. I slept through most of it. So, hey, if I'm going to be able to sleep, I'm not going to turn the sleep down, right? So, and that's another thing.
The place was rocking.
I'm getting like 4 to 6 hours sleep, but it's like from like 5 o'clock in the morning on, So, but hey, I'll take it. Somebody said, "What's this?" Ricky's felt up to starting a cross stick project.
Oh, good.
Hello, that's awesome. I couldn't believe it. So I was out of bed today more than I have been. That does definitely count. That's it.
Yes.
And that's things that normies don't get. Is I was able to get out of bed. And you know what? If you weren't able to get out of bed today, I still love you. I still care about you, because we've had that. We've had that. I've had those days.
I still have those days. I do. And they're okay. I call them PJ days, and they're okay.
Yeah, they are. They are. So
they're fine.
Well, I think it's time for my meds,
Awesome.
which means we've hit the hour mark, right? So, because that's about as long as I can
Mine
sit, even
too.
though
Yeah.
I love this one. Y'all, Tasha is out in Vegas, and she is doing something that's very, very close to my heart. She's working with the homeless out there. She said, I went and gave water and blankets and toilet paper to the homeless. That is beautiful.
Oh.
There are
Oh,
so many people out there that
You for that.
I don't want to go back to Vegas for 10,000 reasons, but that's the only reason I want to go is to go back and see my friends on the streets. There were some incredible people out there. So thank you, Tasha, for that. I appreciate you doing that. So, all right, Leslie, we'll start with you. Final words and thoughts?
basically keep that self-esteem high. Focus on not being powerless, and see you next Tuesday.
There you go. Beautiful. Thank you for your time tonight, Miss
Great.
Leslie. Robin, how about you?
Well, I would say find something that you love more than anything else and throw yourself into it. Something that you can do within the parameters of the new you and throw yourself into it. I have several things that I learned over the few years that I've done. I crochet. I also do cross stitch. Little things like that that I can do when I'm still feeling bad to make myself feel productive.
Yeah.
And it
I
helps
like
keep
that.
that self-esteem up. It does. Like I can sit in bed all day and crochet. Well, not
Right.
all day, but but just find something that you really love, because when you're passionate about something, you're going to be even more motivated to try and overcome the pain, because let's face it, there's days when we're going to just hurt, right? And we have to push through it. And I hate that. I
Yeah.
hate saying that, but I have days like that. Like my horses won't feed themselves, right? And I have to get up even when I'm hurting. So, but I love them like crazy. So I'll get up and do that for them, where, I may not get up and do other things like, clean the bathroom, stuff like that when I'm
That
in
still needs to
pain.
be done here, too.
So, yeah.
In a bad way.
Yeah. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you
We
very
love
much for
having you.
inviting me.
Yes, thank you so much.
I love having people who are so good at what they do and having the opportunity to pick y'all's brains. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy. Miss Amy, how about you? Any final words, thoughts?
Just thank you everybody for being here again tonight and joining us. Thank you so much to Miss Robin and Miss Leslie. You guys' knowledge is awesome. I love learning. Learning is my favorite thing in the world. So I love to hear from other people, and you guys have such a wealth of knowledge that I am so thankful that you guys joined us tonight. So thank you two for being here. But also thank you guys to the community for being here and showing up for us and supporting us every week. I mean, this community, I'm going to say it every single week, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, so just deal with me. But this community means the absolute world to so many of us. Like this community, everybody feels so seen, loved, and heard.
Yes.
And it's just, as much as we've been hurting lately, or as, things have been rough, I know I look forward to Tuesday nights because it's a distraction, but you get this sense of community and love and support, and it means the world. So thank you guys for being here as always.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope everybody has a good week.
And you're not alone.
Thank you.
And you're not alone in your battles. You have people out here who will listen and care. And if you want offers or suggestions, there's plenty of them. I just wanted to say thank you again to Robin and to Leslie for being here. Amy, for you too. I know everybody's struggling right now. Thank you all for supporting me like you do and supporting the invisible community. Invisible no more is not me. Invisible no more is thousands of us coming together to show love, let people know they're seen, they're heard, they're loved, and they're not alone. And if we can accomplish that, we can do great things. So I hope everybody has a good week. And I will probably update you after my doctor's appointment tomorrow. He's going to be so pissed. He's going to be so mad at me.
Thinking of you.
So, So if you need anything, message me, email me, keithcpp@gmail.com. This will be up on YouTube with the rest of the videos. If you haven't checked out Snarkies from last week, check out Snarky's video, or from 2 weeks ago. Check out it. It's incredible. But they're all up there. I love you guys. Thank you. I hope you have a good night, and I hope tomorrow's a better day. We'll see you. Peace.
Thanks so
Peace.
much.
Bye.